The Holy Gospel of our Lord Jesus Christ according to John. Glory to you, Lord Christ. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and without him not one thing came into being. What has come into being in him was life, and the life was the light of all people. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. He came as a witness to testify to the light, so that all might believe through him. He himself was not the light, but he came to testify to the light. The true light, which enlightens everyone, was coming into the world. He was in the world, and the world came into being through him, yet the world did not know him. He came to what was his own, and his own people did not accept him. But to all who received him, who believed in his name, he gave power to become children of God, who were born not of blood or of the will of the flesh or of the will of man, but of God. And the Word became flesh and lived among us, and we have seen his glory, the glory as of a Father's only Son, full of grace and truth. John testified to him and cried out, "This was he of whom I said, 'He who comes after me ranks ahead of me because he was before me.' From his fullness we have all received grace upon grace. The law indeed was given through Moses. Grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. No one has ever seen God. It is God, the only Son, who is close to the Father's heart, who has made him known." The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Christ.
Take our minds and think through them. Take our lips and speak through them. Take our lives and live through them. Take our hearts and set them on fire. Amen.
Amen.
Most of us who are here today were here last Sunday. Do you remember that? It seems a long time ago. It's hard to reestablish in our hearts what was in our mind back then. Think. We were all busy getting ready for all that was to come. We were busy wrapping presents, and we were getting the food ready. Cleaning the house, and we were getting ready for the trip we went on, or whatever it is we were going to do for Christmas. We were getting ready. And now we're not getting ready anymore. Now the agenda of life has changed almost entirely. It's just remarkable how different one Sunday can feel to the next. You remember last Sunday was the fourth Sunday of Advent. And Advent is that season of expectation and anticipation. It is that season in which we are preparing ourselves. We are getting ready for something that is to be a kind of fulfillment of the season. And now that season has been fulfilled. We mark Advent in this place and in many places around the world with this idea of an Advent wreath. And each Sunday we light a candle. And each candle represents a part of our spirit that we count on to help us get ready. Each candle represents something that is a kind of longing in our heart. The first, most obvious one that we start the Advent season with is the candle of hope. Hope is the mark of the Advent season. And it's important to remember what hope is. It's not wishful thinking. It's not a longing. It's something deeper than just wishing for something. I wish that there was not a squirrel living in my attic. But that's not quite the same as hoping for something. Hope is a deeper thing. Hope is something you can build on. It's a setting of the spirit. We hope for the really big things. We don't just wish for them. We set our hearts on this hope that God gives us, a kind of hope for the fullness of our own lives. And the second candle is the candle of joy. Joy is something our spirits know well, but it's not the same thing as happiness, is it? Happiness is a kind of continual state, something we all try and arrange our lives so that we can be happy or help make other people happy. But joy is a welling up inside us. Joy is something not that we can create, but something that's given to us. Joy is a gift to us. And happiness, while we can do lots to make people happy and maybe to make ourselves happy, it's joy that catches us by surprise. It's joy that comes to us from somewhere else. And suddenly in that moment we are overwhelmed with the goodness of life or the beauty of the moment or the deepness of love or whatever it is. It's a gift to us. And at Advent we want to try and nurture that, but it ultimately is a gift that's given to us. And the third candle is the candle of love. And you know love. Love is not liking. You can like things. And you can really like things. I'm really gonna like it when the squirrel is gone. But it's not the same as love. Love, again, is something that wells up within us. Something that is given to us by others, which is undeserved and often unexpected, and touches us deeply within ourselves. And the fourth candle is the candle of peace. And you know peace. Peace is not the absence of strife. It's not the absence of war. Peace is a kind of harmony. Harmony within us, harmony in the world, where everything is okay and just and possible. And it's not just something that we can create. It's something we can work on, but ultimately it's something which is far beyond us, which comes to us. Last 4 weeks, these are the things that we have set our heart on. These are the important parts of being human that we have tried to open up. And then Christ comes, and the gift of the fulfillment of the Advent season is the gift of the fulfillment of all of these things. Christ comes, and we know a joy beyond any joy. And it's the assurance that that joy is eternal. Christ comes, and we know a hope beyond all hope. And Christ is the assurance of that hope. We know a peace beyond all peace. And that assurance of that peace is eternal. And we know a love which is God's love, which is beyond all love that we know, and is eternal. The fulfillment of all of those Advent promises is beyond our imaginations. And it is the great, great, great gift of God to all the human race. It is the gift which we know for ourselves now validates all of our own hopes and loves and peace and joy. It is the gift which empowers us to live into all of those. And it is the gift which we are to share as we live in the light of the Christmas light. The Christmas candle which so exceeds each of the Advent candles. We live in that light in this season, and we share it with the world because there is no greater gift. So, go. Tell it on a mountain, over the hills, everywhere, that Jesus Christ is the fulfillment of all our